Welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you're not new around here. I'm Janine Patrice and I make videos on locks and lifestyle. I'm actually in the middle of retwisting my hair, but I thought it would be cool to just come on here and chit chat with you guys about locks and life, just whatever comes to mind in general. So stay tuned if you're interested. All right, so I already did like most of the back row and I'm just gonna randomly talk about things. This is the first time that I'm actually retwisting my hair since the beginning of May. So I think I went a month and a half without retwisting my hair, which is not the longest, but it's quite some time. During quarantine, I don't know if this is like what y'all have been up to. I know some people don't really feel comfortable retwisting their hair on their own. And since they don't really go to a loctician during quarantine, it's kind of been like more difficult. But let me know if you've been retwisting your own hair during quarantine in the comments below. I've actually started retwisting my hair at the beginning of the year. I discovered these products from Dr. Locs and I feel like I haven't looked away since. I definitely haven't turned back, and I was like, if I don't plan on styling my hair, which is something that I realized last year, was that I didn't want to style my hair as much anymore because it was kind of causing too much tension on my scalp, which is something that we should all like be so super aware of, especially when you have locks. I feel like if you have too much tension on your scalp and you get your hair done regularly, it's not a good look. It's not a good look for your scalp. It's not a good look for your hair when it comes to the roots. So something that you're gonna want to be aware of is what direction that you're twisting your locks in. I don't necessarily think that you have to have the same direction every time you retwist your hair, but once you start retwisting your hair and you retwist it in a certain direction and you're palm rolling in a certain direction, then it's a good idea to just take note of what direction you're actually retwisting it in so it all is cohesive. So lately I've been thinking about, are locks the new natural? So you know how it was like back in like 2010, 2011 when like the natural hair movement was like really up and coming and everyone was going natural and everyone was, you know what? I don't need a relaxer to be beautiful. I can embrace my curls and my kinks. And it was such a beautiful time. Like, what a time to be alive and like being like a young adult or a growing adult and realizing that people are waking up to natural hair. Now, I do know a few people who have been natural maybe even their entire lives or even before 2010 when like the natural hair movement was up and coming again, but I just thought it was so rare at the time. When I was in high school, everybody had perms or some type of weave. That was more normal than having natural hair. It was like, if you didn't have a relaxer, it was like, what are you doing? Your hair's not done. I just remember having this huge awakening senior year of high school, and I read the book Napoli Ever After, which I don't even know if that's like a good book for high schoolers to read. It kind of changed my perspective on like, what is my hair? Like what are my natural curls or kinks like? It called into question my existence in the world in a way. I just remember it being like such a revolutionary act to embrace your hair back then. And so now I'm wondering, are locks like the new natural? Like, I've just seen it pop up so much lately where it was a lot of my, it'll either be like a lot of my friends or, you know, just people in general just seem to be really interested in locking their hair in the lock movement, if I should call it that. It's just really intriguing to me that people are really interested in locks, and maybe it's because I'm a part of the lock community now that I feel as though I am noticing it more. But I just noticed like an uptick in people locking their hair ever since I locked it. That sounds so conceited. I swear I'm not thinking of it like that. It's just that like whenever you are a part of something, you notice it more. So when you're a part of the natural hair community, you notice when people are going natural or what natural people are doing with their hair. Same thing when you're going locked. I'm just wondering, what do you guys think? Are locks like the new I'm going natural, it's like I'm getting locked? Let me know in the comments below. I do like locks being like the new natural because I feel as though before people get frustrated, I know a lot of people who can be frustrated with their natural hair. I honestly, I don't want to say that it's a natural thing to go through, But I just feel like it's natural for Black women in general to kind of go through these awkward, or I don't know, these phases with their hair. I feel like black hair is such a huge thing in our community, and I feel like us as women and men, like, we kind of go through a lot of different phases with our hair, and different frustrations come about when you don't really know too much, or if you don't, you know how to go forward with your hair. So yeah, I think that I would encourage anyone, before they're done going natural, try locks. Like, if you are frustrated with your hair and you're not really sure what you can do with your hair, whether it's like frustration with dealing with your texture for whatever reason, or, you know, I don't know, some people just have a harder time with their natural hair. I always feel like I would encourage you to try locks first before you chop off your hair, or before you relax it, because I know some people might want to go back and do a relaxer. I want to encourage anyone who is thinking about giving up on natural to try locks instead, because you never know, you might like it. It's so funny because whenever I was first interested in getting locks, I remember talking to somebody who already had locks. Mind you, this was a guy who had locks, and I was like, how is it? Like, what is it like to have them? You know, do you find that it's like easy? And I remember he was saying, no, they're so high maintenance. They're very hard to take care of. They're too much to like to keep up with. And I was like, that's so interesting, because I wouldn't have thought that whenever I was like exploring the idea of having locks. And then now that I have them, I'm like, bruh, you were dead wrong. There is some maintenance involved with locks and having locks. Like, of course you have to maintain them, you still have to keep them healthy, you still have to do all these things. But at the same time, if you are a Black woman who has dealt with curly, kinky hair, like our hair in our natural state, locks are a piece of cake. I don't want to hear it. Unless you came from having like a TWA or a really short natural hairstyle where like not as much maintenance is involved, you know, I don't want to hear that locks are more of a maintenance issue, because they're not. You literally don't have to deal with them as much. Moisturizing isn't an issue. Wash days aren't an issue unless you have really long locks, which I haven't experienced yet. This is the longest my hair has been in lock form, because I've only had them for 21 months. So unless your hair is really long, I can see why locks would be more of like a maintenance issue. But if you have moderately lengthy locks, I just feel like they shouldn't be high maintenance, or as high maintenance as he was making it seem. It's just so interesting. But I also have to take that with a grain of salt, because I feel like guys don't know what high maintenance hair really is unless they've experienced long, loose, natural hair. There's no amount of maintenance that compares to that, in my opinion. I honestly don't think that locks are high maintenance at all. This is the first time I'm retwisting my hair, and honestly I feel like I could have gone longer without retwisting it. It wasn't an issue of, does my hair look okay? It was just like, I think I should retwist it. Oh, also when it comes to locks, there's also this kind of like, oh, are they locks or are they dreads sort of conversation. And I would like to say that I do prefer saying locks. I think that saying locks is just light and airy. I just like the term better than dreadlocks. I honestly feel like I use whatever term comes to mind first, and for the most part, I say locks. And I only use the term locks on my channel. I never use like dreadlocks on any of the titles of my videos. And I don't know, that's just something that I started saying whenever I had locks, and I never faltered from it, and I never really wanted to say anything else. Now I know there's like a history behind dreadlocks, and I feel like I've read so many different versions of this particular history or story, where it's like, you know, dreadlocks mean that they're like revered, or, you know, close to God, I think is what I read. And then there's other terms or other definitions that are like dread is like a a bad term. You shouldn't say you dread something. That's something that white people put on black people's hair, is that it's dreadful. Those are dreadlocks. I really don't know, but I use Locs, and I only use Locs on this channel. I just feel like it's short, to the point. Y'all get what I'm saying? It's just what I prefer to use. Okay, so within this past month, I completely changed the way I view food and the way that I eat and how much I eat. And I'm actually down 10 pounds, which is amazing. It's a good milestone, but I feel like I've reached that milestone before. So I'm waiting for more time to pass where I'm like, okay, like I'm really in a groove. I lost 15 pounds, I lost 20 pounds, you know, whatever my next milestones will be. But for now, I'm like, girl, like what? And the main thing that has changed is that I have started to count how much I eat, or I weigh all my food and I count calories from there basically to see like how I'm eating. I will say that I have been using a weight loss program, and you guys have probably seen commercials. It's fairly current, I guess, and I feel as though that this is like the new form of Weight Watchers in today's world, and it's Noom. Okay, so I've been using Noom. I think the beginning of May, I started to weigh myself and I was like, whoa, you're way too heavy for your height range, my health. I feel like I wasn't the right weight. I also have been having issues with my cholesterol, so I just know that I'm not like eating the best as I could be. And I had those issues with my cholesterol starting last summer whenever I went to a doctor. I've been trying to find like a regular doctor to go to, and so I found one last year. And so when I got my blood work done, it was like, oh, you have high cholesterol. And I was like, ooh, high cholesterol runs in my family. High blood pressure, high cholesterol, things of that nature. I kind of blew it off. I think at first I was kind of like mindful of it, and then I kind of blew it off and it was just like whatever. But then like once like the winter, well that was last summer, once fall, winter, spring came, quarantine came, and all this stuff was happening, and I was just like, I didn't really stick to what I was supposed to last summer, which was eating healthier and being more mindful of how much water I'm having and trying to lower my cholesterol. Granted, I don't know what my cholesterol is now because that was last year that I got that blood work done. It hasn't been a year yet since I went to see the doctor. I think I'm coming up on it soon though, because I feel like I had a reminder in my calendar to set up an appointment with my doctor, but I just know I hadn't been like doing the stuff that I was doing. So I was like at a point where I was like, I wouldn't be surprised if I went back to the doctor this year again and nothing had changed. Like if I went back to the doctor and they're like, your cholesterol still sucks, you need to lose weight and eat healthier. I don't want that to be a reoccurring thing for my appointments. I don't want to be like, I go in every year and they're like, you need to lose weight, you need to get your cholesterol in check. So at the beginning of May, I was kind of like thinking of this. I really need to like get that together. And so I hopped on the scale and it was, I don't even know if I should say. I might do a separate video on my weight loss journey using Noom because I could go more in depth, but it was a high number and I wasn't comfortable with that number. And I was like, this is the heaviest I've ever been. And it was a wake-up call. I was like, girl, you gotta get it together. Like, you need to stop eating desserts. You need to, you just need to change your life map, man. Like, health is a serious thing. And for me to take it for granted at a younger age, I'm 28, so it's like, I'm still young, but you know, getting to 30. So it's like, it was just a wake-up call that I didn't want to be this way in 2 years when I turned 30. So yeah, I was like, I need to lose this weight. And the first thing I looked up was like all these different weight loss programs and, you know, just trying to get a feel for like what was best for me. I have a couple of friends that have used Weight Watchers, and I was trying to get a feel for their answers with like their experiences using Weight Watchers and stuff like that. and I just wasn't sure about it. And then, you know, I always get Noom ads. I feel like everybody gets Noom ads. I downloaded the app. I got a free trial for I was gonna say a week, but I think it was 2 weeks. It was like a week or two. And then I started doing what they were doing. And the app is basically keeping track of what you eat, but they're very big on, you can eat what you want. You just gotta lower those portions. You need to eat in moderation. You know, you can't just be eating a whole sleeve of Oreo. You need to be watchful, and you need to eat more good stuff. So I've been doing that. I want to be able to feel more confident in my body, but I also want to feel good. Let me know in the comments below if I should make a more in-depth video on my weight loss journey, and I definitely will go ahead and do that. All right, I feel like I'm like halfway through my head now. All right, as I'm starting this next row, I actually am planning on leaving St. Louis this next week. I'm planning on visiting some friends down in Dallas. This is something that we actually do every year for Juneteenth, and I'm excited. I have had hesitations about this trip, not gonna lie. We do this every year, but this year is obviously different for so many reasons. There's the pandemic that is still going on and probably on the rise right now. There's racial tensions, which always exist, but you know, I just heard about a family friend getting pulled over by a cop not too long ago. I think this happened in like, it's either Austin or Houston. They got hassled by the police a little bit while getting pulled over. And so it's like, oh, is this a good time to be going even further south than where we are now? Even further south than segregated St. Louis? We're gonna go ahead and go. We're gonna just stay down there for a couple of days. I gotta drop JoJo off at a kennel. So this will be like my first travel experience since quarantine began. I'm nervous. Although we don't plan on doing anything like eating out at restaurants. We're not going to any events or anything like that. I don't even know if there are events, but we're not gonna be like in groups of people basically. So I feel better about that. Also, the people that we're visiting down there have been quarantining themselves, and everyone else that's coming on the trip has also been quarantining themselves. So it kind of just makes me feel better, but I don't know. I feel like it's kind of safe what we're doing. Is it fully safe? I'm not completely sure, but it is what it is. But yeah, I have a few things I need to sort out before then. Part of this retwist is because of that trip. It's kind of like, wow, I gotta face humans again. Let me get myself together, because I have been looking rough all quarantine. I haven't been retwisting my hair that much, and I thought it would be cute to just look cute. Because for the first time, it's just like, oh, we're gonna be gathering and it's gonna be hot in Texas. Like, let me wear some cute summer clothes even though we're not going anywhere. I want my hair to be freshly retwisted. I just want to feel normal. Like, is that okay? Can I feel normal? Speaking of quarantine, how comfortable are you guys with going back to your loctician? I know I am fine with not going back for a while because I wasn't planning on doing that in the first place, but I'm just curious when everybody's gonna start feeling comfortable doing those things again. I was talking to my boyfriend about this, and he definitely doesn't feel the need to rush back to anybody's hair salon or barbershop for a long time. So I've been retwisting his hair at home whenever he wants it retwisted. And we kind of have our in-house hair services taken care of. And I probably will retwist my boyfriend's hair before we go to Dallas if he wants to. I think he wants to. He should do that hot oil treatment because that was fire. If you guys missed my hot oil treatment, be sure to check out that video. It made my hair super soft. and I filmed it right before filming this one, but it should already be up on the channel. But yeah, I'm also curious to know if like my subscribers or whoever's watching this video, do you guys like locticians, or do you like going to get your hair retwisted by a loctician? Just sort of curious, because I feel like I was all for it whenever I started my locks, because it was just like a more guaranteed way of feeling secure with what I was about to do, because it was a big life change. Not a life change, well, it was a life change, but it was just a big change. I didn't really know anything about locks that much when I first got them, or how to like maintain them or take care of them. So I feel like having the loctician was very useful. But now that I'm like 21 months in, I'm basically 2 years locked, coming up pretty soon. So it's kind of just like, I feel as though I don't really need a loctician anymore, which sounds kind of sad. But it just feels that way. It feels like, you know, girlie, you've grown up. You know how to retwist your hair now, and it looks, you know, good enough. I feel like I've come into my own as someone who has locks. I used to watch videos of people with their locks and how, you know, they retwist it on their own at home, and I remember thinking like, there's no way I'm gonna be able to do that. I'm always gonna need to go to the salon. And then I tried it and I was like, girl, what are you talking about? It's just so easy. I don't know why I thought it was gonna be like so difficult, because it's really not difficult at all. So I feel like when I was a loose natural, I used to have a lot of hair goals, I guess. Like, oh, I want my hair down to this length, the base blah. And I haven't really thought about it that much with locks. I feel like locks have kind of, I don't know, made me think beyond hair, I guess. I feel like so much of my life have revolved around my hair and what my hair is doing. A lot of decisions go into black hair, and let me know if you relate in the comments, but I just feel like once I got my locks, I didn't really have to think about my hair that much. It was kind of like, oh, it's there, but it's good. Not really having to worry about, do I need to, you know, do this, that, or the other to my locks. I just feel like I worried so much about my hair more when it was loose rather than now when it's locked, for some reason. I do have some lock goals. I do think that the longest that I want my hair to get is no longer than, I don't know, right about here. And I'm like right here now. So I don't want to get more than like past my mid shoulder. For some reason, I feel like once I pass that mark, it'll be too much to handle. And I don't know if I'm interested in washing hair that long or waiting for my hair to dry, or I don't know like what problems come with longer locks. I don't want them to get too heavy either, and I'm just kind of concerned about that. So I feel like right now I just want my locks to like reach right here. I'm not really into the whole like I want them down my butt gang. I didn't even like my weave like that. I just can't picture myself having super long locks. It doesn't seem that appealing to me as far as maintenance goes, and I can live without having long hair. And then I say that to a lot of people and they're like, what? You wouldn't want your hair like all the way down your back? And I don't know why, but it just seems like there's like always this fascination with having the longest hair possible, and I don't really care for that as much. I guess it would be cool to see how long my hair gets, but that maintenance though, I'm not sure if I'm into that. As far as what I'm gonna do after I have locks, because there will be a time when I don't have locks anymore. Not saying that I'm getting rid of my locks anytime soon, because I'm definitely not. I want my hair around for at least another, I don't know, 5 years. But I think that it would be really cool. I talk about this all the time with like my friends. Like my next move after I am done with my loc journey is cutting it all off. And I know a lot of people are like, you can comb them out, like you can still retain length and you can still have your go back to like the loose natural stage, but I've never in my life experienced no hair, and I could be naive because I don't know, I got a big head. I feel like my head is kind of big. I feel like I don't know what I look like. I don't know what my head looks like my head shape. I can grasp like how it would kind of look, but I don't really know like what my head shape is. So to go from having like long locks to having like no hair, I don't know, something about that seems super liberating, and it just seems liberating in general to not have to worry about hair. It just seems like I don't have to worry about combing it out. It just seems cool. I don't know if I'll go for like full shape or if I'll you know, just do like a short kind of pixie cut deal, but I do want to cut all of my hair off after I'm done with locks. I have the patience to wait for locks to develop. I have the patience to wait for locks to grow. I have the patience to wait for my locks to thrive. I do not have the patience to comb them out. Every video that I've watched where it's like, I combed out my locks and this is, you know, this is me combing out my locks, it doesn't look appealing to me. The whole process looks like a scam. It just doesn't look fun. And not saying that people make it look fun on the internet or anything like that, but they definitely make it seem like that's like the preferred method, and it's just not something I want to do. And hair grows back. I feel like we should all be well aware of that right by now, but I feel like Black people make it seem like your hair won't grow back if you cut it. Cause I remember a couple of years ago, I had gone to a hair salon and I was like, I'm thinking about cutting my hair really short. And she was like, you don't wanna do that. You don't wanna. I'm making it sound so dramatic, but she was like, you don't wanna do that. You know, you're just going through a patch right now where you want something new, but I don't think you want that. And I don't like that. I want you to support my decision. If I don't want my hair, then let me cut my hair. I really think it would be fun to experience short hair. I think I would love to see how I look in it. And I also feel like if I don't look great with short hair, then I can always just put on a wig. And it would be that much easier to put on a wig too. But like I said, I don't plan on getting rid of my locks anytime soon. I plan on keeping them around for some years to come. There's certain events in my life that I would like to have longer hair for, like a wedding. If I were to ever get married, I think I would like to have longer hair for that. Let me know in the comments below what you plan on doing once you get rid of your locks. Lately, I've been itching for some color. I also have been wanting to dye my hair black again, but I've also been like, what if I dyed the tips blonde, or, you know, what if I added pink in my hair? Not saying that I would, but I just feel like I want to try something really cool. And I've always liked those different kind of colors on hair. I just never had the guts to actually do it. I used to love hair where it was like a deep color blue, like navy blue, but it was so dark blue, it almost looked black, but you knew it was slightly blue. I don't know why, but I love hair colors like that, where it's like, oh, is your hair blue or is it black? Pink is really interesting to me too. I'm not sure how it would look on my hair, but will I actually do it? Probably not. Knowing me, I just always feel like I see these videos where people are dyeing their locks and they're always talking about how they have to cut off their hair damage or how it damaged their hair so bad and nothing's the same. And I'm just like, I don't know if I want to do that. Granted, I did dye my hair and that is a chemical process, so it probably did do not that much good to my hair, but it wasn't bleaching it. So that makes me feel slightly better. But at the end of the day, I have been itching for some hair color. So don't be surprised if I do show up with some. I'm allowed to change my mind. It looks like I'm doing a middle part. Not sure how I got in this mode, because usually when I do a retwist, I retwist it to like the side or something. But I guess I'm feeling a middle part today. What middle part I have, because y'all know I don't really have a real middle part. Last one, y'all, last one. What a marathon. I started this at like 1 something. Yeah, it takes me about an hour. It takes me about an hour to retwist my hair. All right, that's it. that's all she wrote. This is my retwist. Y'all have seen me retwist my hair before if you watch my retwist video. That's the end of my chit chat. That's everything that I had on my mind about locks and life. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm about to let this air dry for a little bit, but I'm probably going to eventually sit under the dryer with it as well. That's all I have for this video. Thanks for hanging out with me while I retwisted my locks. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to comment below with any thoughts that you have. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more locks and lifestyle content. Once again, I'm Janine Patrice and I'm out. I don't know why I ended it like that.